Coach, you said at the beginning of fall camp that you expect Abu Carter to kind of get some more maturity as he kind of went along. Has that maturity process been kind of expedited last few weeks, and how much more confident do you guys feel with him?
Yeah, I'm excited about Boo, just like a lot of our freshmen. Obviously with the situation we're in, he's his learning curve had to speed up a little bit. So he's coming along. I think at the end of the day, just like most freshmen, there's still some things that, he can continue to improve on. But, he's been working his tail off, and he's doing everything he can to get ready. So we're excited about him. We think he's going to have a really good year for us. Yeah, I think it's a fluid situation for everybody. Jacoby's had a really good camp, from spring and even this fall. I like where he is, to be honest with you. He's a good tackler for us. He has a physical presence in that back end, the size that we covet. So I'm excited about, where he is and his development. And, I got to see the games just like I got to see all these guys playing games. Practice is one thing. Obviously playing in the games is another thing. But, if he stays true to what he's done, I think he'll have a big year as well.
Coach, a year ago, the linebacker room just kept getting more and more depleted as the season went on. It feels like this is the deepest unit you've had since you've been here. Talk about that, and then what is it that clicks for Coach Inge that has allowed him to kind of walk in there and kind of be a seamless transition for that room?
I think the first part is what you said. Exactly what you said is right. We have more depth than we've had since I've been here. I'm really excited about that group. I think we've done a really good job recruiting in that room. I think the sky's the limit for those guys. We're going to play a lot more guys there than we have in the past, and it's just because they've earned it. As far as Coach Inge, he's exactly what you think he would be. He's a veteran coach. He's been a coordinator. He has a great personality that those guys kind of can to relate to. He keeps it fun. He keeps it light. But at the same time, he's probably one of the better teachers I've been around. So, I'm excited about Coach Inge. I've said ever since I've been here, we got a great staff, and, he's been a great addition to that.
Where do you think this group, this unit, has grown the most since the start of fall camp? What do you like the most, and maybe what's left on your punch list that you need to get answers to in week one moving forward?
Yeah, I think the reality of it is you're never satisfied. I think it's still a lot of things that we can continue to improve on. But I think the one thing that I am excited about is what I mentioned, when I came the first time we had this press conference, is just our depth, overall depth. I know we talked a lot about our front, and all the moving parts that we have there. But as I said earlier, I feel really good about the linebacker position. I think we got a lot of guys that we can plug and play, and then with the secondary, we're young, but I think we're talented. And we talked about Abu Carter, we talked about Jacoby Thomas, but there's a lot more guys that are going to come into play this season as well. So I think just the overall depth that we have, that we can get a lot of guys in and, give guys opportunities to showcase their skill set.
Andre Turrentine told us that his being patiently waiting for his moment was beneficial for him. How have you seen his patience be beneficial for him?
Yeah, I don't know how patient any of these guys are. I think, if he had it up to Dre, he would have been starting the first year. But he's worked hard. He's never wavered. He's always been a strong personality back there, a quarterback of the defense. And whether he was third string, second string, or first string, he's always had the great intent to practice hard and be prepared when his opportunity came. So, I'm happy for him. He's worked really hard, and, he'll have a chance to showcase his skill set this season.
Coach, we obviously all saw what James Pierce did last year. What is happening developmental-wise with opposite him with either Joshua or Caleb or some of those younger guys?
Yeah, it starts with Josh Joseph, obviously. He's played a ton of football around here. We're really excited about what he brings to the table. God, I don't want to leave anybody out, but I think that whole room, all those Leos really got a chance to be special for us. We've always tried to rotate those guys a ton. Even last year, James rotated a ton, and that's when he had a chance to showcase his skill set, and he got better every single game, every single week. We expect the same type of productivity from the backup guys that are rotating in this season as well. But definitely Josh Joseph's had a really good camp for us to this point.
And just how different is Caleb with the weight gain?
Man, that's a great question. Man, sometimes I don't even recognize him. He's always been a long kid, obviously, but now you see the pounds on him. He's just playing with a lot more speed to power. I expect him to really have a really good year as well. He's one of the guys we're talking about. But I think the size, the weight gain that he has is in a positive way. He didn't rush it. It's all muscle. So he's still moving around the way he moved around as a smaller guy, but he's just doing it with more bulk. So we're excited for him.
You go against that offense every day. What about this year group looks different to you compared to maybe last year's group? And just what do you see out of Nico from a cerebral standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think the offense, year in and year out, obviously has been really good at what they do, and this year is no different. I think our offensive line is very talented. They're strong. I love the tackles, and the interior guys. But I think when you start talking about Nico, he just has such a strong command from my perspective of the offense. He can throw it, with the best of them. But if I'm being honest, just his sheer size. Sometimes I forget how big he is till I get up on him. When he tucks that ball and he starts to run, that's a problem for anybody, particularly us in defense trying to, corral that guy. So, I think our offense will pick up where they left off the last couple of years, and they'll do exactly what they've been doing.
Tim, when you talked in the spring, you said that you guys could have potentially the best defensive line in the country. Do you still feel that way, and what have you seen from that group?
Yeah, I think, again, it's just the sheer depth again. Hopefully if those guys continue to do what they've been doing, we'll continue to roll them, and there's no drop-off. So they're exactly where I thought they would be. I love our depth. I think our interior guys are very athletic, but they still have good size to be able to push the pocket. So I think as long as we can keep everybody healthy and continue to roll those guys in, I stand on it. Yeah, we'll be really good up front.
Tim, you've talked about growing in red zone defense and third and long defense. What gives you confidence that this squad's going to be better in both those categories,
Yeah.
which I know were two goals?
No, I think just like anything, every year is a new year, but obviously we looked at schematically, personnel, the things we were asking the guys to do. We've obviously made some adjustments, but we think at the end of the day, if the guys be able to play within the system, within the frame of the defense, will be better, particularly in the red zone. And I think third down, for us, you go back and you self-scouted, there were some things that I think we could have done better. There's some plays to be made. But we've definitely, worked really hard this spring and this fall to make sure we're shoring it up and making sure the guys are in the right spots to do what they need to be doing.
Coach, back here in the back. Sorry.
There you go.
What have you seen from Christian Harrison that shows he's ready to take over some minutes in that star position?
Yeah, Christian has been very consistent, this fall camp. I thought he made some strides in the spring, but I thought he really picked it up in the fall. So, yeah, he's another guy. We talked about Andre, and, he's probably another guy that has really worked his tail off to put himself in a position to be able to have a bigger role on this team. And I think if he continues to do what he's doing, I think he'll be fine. But I just think the overall consistency in which he's playing, we know exactly what we're going to get out of him, and, I'm sure that'll show up in the games as well. It's okay.
I knew it was muted. Building off of that, how are you all looking in your pass coverage defense?
Yeah, I think we're really good. I think, like I tell guys all the time, it starts with the front, it starts with the back end. Those guys work hand in hand. So I think as long as we're able to do our job on the back end and they're able to do their job on the front, I think we got a chance to be really good back there.
Kind of on that note, not to get too far in the X's and O's, but because of the depth and the experience and the expected good play of your front four, can you mix things up in the back end, coverage-wise, play a little bit more tighter in situations?
Yeah, I think so. It's always interesting. When you self-scout, again, you look at, is it the player, is it the scheme, and I think the truth always lies somewhere in the middle. It's our job to put them in the best possible situations to execute their job, and obviously it's their job to execute. So I think we'll be able to do a lot of different things back there, but, again, it'll be based on, who we're playing, what their expectations are in terms of scheme, we'll try to take advantage of it.
With the success Byron Young had in his rookie year, is that something you've shown the Leo room, just kind of how it translates?
Yeah, we're really proud of BY. He's obviously a great ambassador of our program, particularly on defense, and, what he's doing in the NFL has been awesome. So, yeah, I think those guys take a lot of pride when they see it, not just the Leos, but, our ends, our front, everybody on our defense, because obviously he's a tremendous player, but he's even a better man. So, yeah, we're super proud of him. We really are. And, I think our Leos obviously have taken notice. We like to think, we're preparing those guys for the NFL, particularly what we ask them to do. And, they see him doing it, and I'm sure they think they can do it as well, and they probably will.
Coach, you talked a lot about depth at cornerback. Who were some of the guys that are standing out behind Jermod and Ricky, and what have you seen from Jalen and Jordan going into the season?
Yeah, I think Jalen and Jordan both have been, outstanding in camp. We're always trying to get better, obviously, but, we think those guys have given us enough validation in what they're doing in practice that they'll be able to help us on the back end. So, but, again, man, for us, we want to stay healthy. When we've been healthy on the back end, we've been really good there. And we think because we can play more guys, it'll allow those guys to stay healthier coming down the back stretch.